Hi there and welcome to Two Truths and a Lie. My name is Beáta Bena and I'm entering my last year of my 20s. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate it than by having chats with the people that have influenced my life the most. And today with me, I have two very special guests. They are also my age and I shared school experiences with the both of them. So I've got Saarah here today and Robin. I didn't tell you guys the context of why you mean so much to me, but I'm going to get into that soon. And I would like to hear what you guys also have to say. If you knew all of this was going on, if you knew that you were having an impact on me and that I look up to the both of you today. And yeah, are you guys ready?
Yes. It's like you're going to make me emotional.
I feel like I want to cry already.
I can cry in a second.
Okay, so before we start, I just want to let you guys know about the prompts. So my sister created these prompts, which I think there are questions in there. They vary every single episode. And each one of you will get to give your truth and then my truth, and then we kind of discuss it. Hence, Two Truths and a Lie.
Okay.
But long story short, I'm going to start with Saarah. I wanted to call you Shanika because I knew you as Shanika growing up. But I think with both of you, I had very complex relationships. I started with you in primary school. We met in grade 5 because I came to a new school. And then with you, you came to our school when we were in grade 10?
Grade 11.
Grade 11?
Yeah.
And at some stage in time, I was best friends with you both. With you, it was like one day. And with you, it was 1 year. But it was incredible, both. And I remember there was a time, specifically with you, Saarah, where I absolutely adored you as a person, but we had a very challenging dynamic. And I know that we both had our stuff going on in our separate lives. And growing up, my brain processed you as like my bully, even though outright you weren't like what is the word? You weren't a textbook bully, like someone that came and punched someone or like pointed me down or anything, but you had such a strong presence about you and you were so self-assured that I remember growing up and always feeling like kind of petrified of you or your rejection.
Oh, okay.
And I remember a specific incident that I'll get into now, but it was such a beautiful journey for me because I really got to see you go from being that and going to high school with me, going through your entire development there. You left school at some stage.
Yes.
And I lost touch, but then I kind of found you on social media afterwards. And then when I checked again, you were a lyrical activist. I was listening to your music and seeing the quality of posts you were making. And I think we followed each other or something, and there was some sort of an exchange of like, checking in with each other. And I cannot tell you what a full circle moment that was for me, and to also see where you are right now and how you've kind of like taken this perception that I had of you when I was so small that impacted me and completely 180'd it and actually showed me that there are so many different sides to a story and that people are so complex and that you have so much to offer the world. And I specifically wanted to chat to you because I wanted to know, like, fill me in, like in the blank, what was going on to get you to the point of being a lyrical activist, to get you to the point of being who you are today. And also, you had a surprise reaction when I told you my brain processed you in primary school as my bully, because you obviously didn't know that.
I didn't.
And maybe that's all me. And that's why I wanted to also have this conversation. Maybe I interpreted things a certain way because of my own shadows. But a long story short, at the end of the day, you are one of the most inspiring people to me. And also one of the few that I stayed in touch with after school, which I think is a very big deal because it's coming all the way from primary school, And then I'm going to let that simmer there. Come to Robin quickly. So you came to our school in grade 11.
Yeah.
And we were best friends for a year.
Like literally straight from the beginning.
And it was like a house on fire.
I swear it was like a whirlwind. Like I feel as though we both didn't understand the pressure that we both put on ourselves as best friends in that moment as well.
And then, I don't know, we became like sisters.
Oh no, literally.
And then we went on a trip to Sun City with our parents.
That was your...
It
Like
was a lot.
I feel as though, yes, it should have happened, but I also feel as though we could have handled it very differently. And our parents should have handled it much differently as well.
I think it
Like
comes
from
down a lot
both sides.
to that. It comes
No,
down
it
a
was
lot
our
to that.
parents. Like I feel as though, especially at that age, we are so influenced by our parents.
Yes.
And since it's our mothers,
Yes.
like both of us compared to our mothers, we were very
close to our mom.
Exactly. And we're very confrontational about our
Yes.
mothers. We both took our mother's side,
Yes.
which also made us split apart. And also, like, we couldn't explain that to anyone,
Yes.
like exactly what happened.
Yes.
And when I was trying to explain it to everyone, no one would understand it.
Yes.
And I feel as though you wouldn't understand it. I don't understand your part. And that is where, I think that's where the drift happened
Yes.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to give Saarah some context as well, we were like,
I feel as though everyone would understand it, but we also don't understand it all too well.
yeah, I feel like my brain's starting to wrap around it now. But again, like with us, I'm going to probably find that your experience of the situation and mine are very different, which is why it's always so nice to chat to people about these things. But we were super tight, so much so that we wanted to go and watch Miss South Africa at Sun City. And our moms became friends because we were tight. And they organized this whole trip. And
So
then
that we could go watch Miss South Africa.
then they take us on this trip. But our mothers start like feuding to the point where, like, I think your mom cried.
Yeah.
It was quite intense. And me and you, I remember us sitting together and kind of being like, we're just not going to get involved. We're not going to get involved. We're best friends and everything.
Like our mothers went to the bathroom by Wimpy, and we just stopped after when we were going to Sun City. And so we both said, whatever is going on, we are not going to let this influence us because this is not our fight at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And that brought a lot of maturity in the both of us, where it's like, that's our parents, but it's not our fight.
100%. And then the trip is finished and we come back to school. But just before we go back to school, I have a conversation with my mom where I go, I don't know how this is going to work anymore because me and Robin's friendship exists on her either coming to my house or me going to her house. We can't pretend that what happened between you and the mother is not going to somehow come down. Like, if I'm in your space, I'm going to feel some sort of way. And if you're in my space, you're going to feel some sort of way. Or our moms are going to feel some sort of way. And so I draft out this email that I ended up sending as a DM. I was like, putting down my feelings, and I don't think we're compatible to be friends because it's just not going to work out and everything. But then I think what happened after that was the thing that made the impact. But again, let me remind you, the story has a happy ending. So it's not like, but I think it hurt you a lot.
Of course.
And
it was in the message, I remember you saying, it was the one thing that I did not forget, was you will find your niche somewhere. And in my mind as a 17, 16-year-old was like, I'm still trying to find where I'm going, and we are at the same age. Why are you coming to me and saying this? So it was more of an ego of the fact that we're both the same age. Why it's almost like
100%.
You're trying to almost like, not like one up, but almost like seem like the reason why we can't be friends is because maybe you're better than me. That's how I saw it. And that was a big thing for me because I've never had an outfall with friends before because I'm someone I will literally let it go. Don't come to me and explain anymore. I will let it go. I don't have the energy for that. And that's how I've always been.
So, but also, sorry that's how it made you feel because that was really not the intention. Especially
I know it, when you get messages, you always interpret it how you see it and how you actually want the message to come through as, and you don't see it from how the other person is trying to make the peace. And that's where it all went wrong because I was like seeing as, oh, you're saying this about me and me and me and me and me and me. But
I definitely sense that what you got from it was that you thought I put myself above you, which is like was for me the opposite, because I didn't have a friend group outside of you. So it's not like you finding your niche is also me finding my niche. I never had a group. So for like the rest of the year, I didn't have friends, like at all. And
that's also how I felt, because I went into your friendship group and I didn't tell them anything. They always asked me what happened between you and B. I said, I'm not telling you.
But then people were lying. Then people were lying, genuinely.
Because I'm not that type of person who will tell other people closer to you so that I can look good. I will never do that, because we had a friendship. And that friendship was between me and you. All I said to the people was that me and B, just something happened, and that is basically it. Obviously, in high school, people construe that message and take it above and beyond. And that's why when we got each other in the bathroom,
I'm gonna still get to that part of the story. But before we get to that part, I just want to add to the beginning section. I think it was definitely a matter of, you dealing with kids and things like that. I want to skip over the entire story and just say at the end, what really stood out for me was, I think it was 2 years after we matriculated.
Yeah.
I reached out to you and I said, do you want to can I make some pancakes so we can chat through it? Because I think it was traumatic for us both.
Yeah. And pancakes were our favorite.
And she came to my house and I made pancakes and we had ice cream, and we were both not really ready to speak about it because we were still sore about it. But we both agreed that
and
we were young.
Yeah, at that time, 2 years later, I had nothing against the situation.
Yes.
If you talked to me 6 months after the time, I feel as though I definitely would have been like, no, go back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But 2 years later,
and then we
seeing different friendships, seeing different people, seeing how you developed as a person, I was just like, because I spoke to Carlo that time and I was like, I'm not too sure. Then he was like, but what can it really hurt?
Yes.
Because we had, that was one of my best friendships that I've had in a very long time. So I was like, the only thing that can go wrong is if you shut me out of your house, and that's literally the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that happened was nothing.
Yeah.
It was a good experience.
And then afterwards, so much later, also like with Saarah, on social media, you're one of the first people to engage and and comment, and we're always checking in with each other. And I think that's when all the fuzz and the ego and everything goes away from people, somehow we remember who the people really, who they really are, each other. And we really are sincere and authentic about that, and it brings us back to each other. But you were saying earlier about the bathroom. Before we get to that, so that you can be in the shower. So,
were we even in the same high school?
I can't remember.
Boldy, wait, were you there? You left at some stage,
In 2014, yes.
That was in matric.
That was matric, yeah.
So this was in matric.
Yeah.
So it might have.
So I was there the first month, January, February.
I think this might have been during that time.
Yeah.
So on my side of the spectrum, after that thing happened, I made the choice not to speak to anybody about it because I was very protective of you, because I still cared about you a lot. And a large part of that year I spent actually missing you, and I just wanted to reach out, but I could sense you were very angry. And I think the thing that out of the situation that had the biggest impact on me today, and something that I carry a lesson that I carry with me, is how everybody around the situation reacted. The people that weren't involved. Because I got warnings from people. And that's why I said I think people were lying. Warnings from people about, said messages that they were hearing of what you were saying about me. And I always went, no, I don't want to hear about it. And then eventually, the day leading up to the bathroom, I'd heard variations of the story of what happened at Sun City from people come to me who I refused to speak about the story to, and wondering, but how do they know this information? And telling me you should hear what the people are saying, and obviously people that do that are looking for trouble. No one that says you should hear what people are saying is actually trying to keep the peace, but somehow the word was still getting out. And the crux of the story was, I didn't want to be your friend because I thought I was better than you. And because I was head girl and because I was chairperson of the RCL and was teen at that time, there was a massive group of people that wanted to jump on that bandwagon and go, you think you're better than us. And what that did was it completely isolated me from everybody. And I had my friend circle, which was Samantha and Stephanie and all those people. But then when this thing happened, I think you kind of stayed in that group and I went out and I was literally sitting break times, like alone in a classroom with a teacher. And there was a point where I missed, I think it was something like 11 days of school because I couldn't get, like, I didn't want to go to school so much so that the grade head had to call me in and say, like, you can't keep missing school because it's going to count against you at the end. And also you head girl, you need to set an example and whatnot. Then my mother took me to see a counselor just to like wrap my brain around what I was going through. And what it came down to was I was upset that people were judging me based on a situation that they had no comprehension what it actually was about. And I miss you so much and I just wanted what was best for you, but I know that everybody else got involved. And then the bathroom thing happened. So what happened with the bathroom thing was we had PT, and again, like it's as if I had COVID or something. People didn't want to touch me. They didn't want to be near me. And then one of our mutual friends that was in that group came to me and said, B, you really need to check what people are saying about you. And you guys were in a group at the back of the bathroom. Like, you need to have your back, is what this person said to me. And then everybody left and I was busy getting done and it was just you and I left in the bathroom. And then I went to you and I said, you don't have to tell people what happened. And then you had your reaction where you were like, I can't tell you what to do. And then like it was a back and forth and then a trigger for me. And then I said to you, I turned around. I remember it as clear as daylight because there was a movie called We Are the Millers where Jennifer Aniston, the guy comes into a space and she just goes, eat a dick. Now keep in mind, I'm Beáta. I don't swear. I don't go to parties. I don't drink. I don't do anything. Now I'm in the bathroom with my ex-best friend who I love a lot and like things are getting heated and people are they want to beat me up outside is what this other person told me now. And I'm just like trying to get you like let's quickly come here with me. Anyway, you got upset. I turn around, Saarah, and I flip her off and I go, eat a dick.
The way I laugh.
I would laugh. And then I turn back to my bag and I pack my things and I leave. Obviously, the first place I go to when I leave is to Mr. Daniels, the grade head, to go and tell him, I just told Robin to eat a dick and I feel so... I was crying. I'm like, call my mother now. My mother came straight to school. I'm like, Mommy, I did this. Took me to the counselor. The counselor wanted to know, why did I say that specific thing? Do we have an inside joke? Are we busy with stuff that we're not supposed to be doing? I'm like, I don't know how to make you guys understand. I saw it in a movie and my brain panicked and I didn't know what else to do. And that just came out. And I remember they called a meeting with the two of us.
Oh, that was a horrible meeting.
And you really wanted them to take my head girl title away because I said that. And I just want to highlight, like, you were really angry at that stage in time. And it was very, very valid, the anger. But there was a very definite, like a hatred projected towards me that came through from all directions. And it made my matric year, like, so terrible. Like, I prayed it away. But can I add to this? From all of that, I missed you through the whole time, so much so that I was so excited to see you today. And then I thank God because I think He used us because He knew if He took two people that loved each other so much and put an obstacle like that, they can go through this, learn a lesson and find their way back to each other without leaving just traumatized. Because now in the field that I'm in, which is on television, there's always going to be people that have opinions about you. Every single time I'm in a situation where I feel like there's unfair judgment or someone's going to think so, I remember this specific event and I wouldn't have chosen any other person to go through that journey with because I don't know if with any other person we would have come out like this. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, it makes sense.
And yeah, it was till this day, one of the lessons I take with me everywhere, even at my most recent job, when I'm in a position of privilege, like being a lead on a show, and I feel like there's some sort of distance between me and anybody else, and people might think I'm putting myself on a pedestal, I remind myself, I've been there before. These things pass, but the good things are the things that stand out at the end of the day, you know?
Exactly.
So tell me about you.
I just want to say,
and how you experienced it.
maybe that time, remember we were very young, and not to always make an excuse of that. We weren't always our full person, and
Not even a fraction.
And yes, I can maybe say, because I truly can't remember every little detail. Maybe I didn't handle the situation as I should have.
But even
in my recollection, I only told people, me and Beáta, we're just not friends. And obviously, if you saw Beáta, you saw Robin. If you saw Robin, you saw Beáta. We had all our classes together. And also bringing in the people that we had school with. Those people always were waiting for each other's downfalls. And maybe I was also listening to what they were saying because they knew you, well, in that sense better, because I just came from Secunda a few weeks ago, and I didn't really know you as they knew you. I only knew what I saw, which was the most caring person, the most sweet person. When we had fun, we had fun.
Yeah.
It was literally just the two of us, we could literally speak up a storm. I remember when you were staying in Salari's Pass and we would have sleepovers there. Your mother would come up and say, guys, you need to stop. You need to actually go to bed. And those were the moments I cherished the most. And that's why it was the most hurtful friendship I ever had, because in my mind, it's like we both said, we're not going to have this, what is going through our parents hinder us as a friendship, because our friendship is much deeper than that. And then to get literally out of the blue, especially coming from where we left in Joburg, where literally, I remember your mother sending my mother a message just saying, you can't get a ride with us. And that's when we left the plane. We were on the plane. In my mind, I'm like, how are we supposed to get someone to call us? Because we literally just moved to Cape Town. We don't know anyone. So that also was like, we weren't able to speak about that because you sent that message, and we weren't able to have that conversation face to face because you sent that message. And to me, I was like, I wanted to see you face to face so we could have that conversation, because that time I had no hatred. I had no care. I just wanted to see you and have that conversation to just try and see, like, can we not just have that best friendship, but still have a friendship, still have that camaraderie, to be like, we can still be close, but not as close because we both understand the situations that we are in. So I think that is where the hatred and mostly disappointment came from, because I was like, I thought we were closer than that. I thought that we handled situations better than that. Yes, we never had an argument or disagreement before that. We always had debates. But this was the first time where it's like our friendship was broken. And I didn't understand where I went wrong. That's where I got the issue, because I was like, I did nothing wrong. I didn't hurt you. I didn't do anything. It was our parents. Maybe we could have had a conversation because we were still close. Maybe we could have had a sit down and be like, okay, I understand where our parents are. I understand that this is not going to be the best for our friendship, but we can still have a closeness in some type of way. So in my mind, that message just broke me, because then you deleted me off everything, deleted my number. I just couldn't find you anywhere. Got back to school, you ignored me flat out. I ignored you flat out because you deleted me off everything. It's almost like our friendship didn't even exist. So that's where my hatred and my disappointment and my anger came from. And I know that time I had a lot of anger issues with a lot of trauma, and that just broke me completely because it was the first friendship. I've had my best friend for 13 years now, and we've never had that. So that is why this was so hurtful for me. And I don't think I understood how to even deal with the situation. I just wanted you to feel how I felt. And you wouldn't have been able to because I could never express it to you. Because we got back to school, ignoring happened. People were asking you, the first day, people were bombarding me with like, what's going on with you and B? All I could say is that we're just not friends. Obviously, they're coming back and asking, what's going on? What's happening? And it was just too much. So that day in the bathroom, I was just done with the situation. And for you to come,
escalated there.
it escalated very quickly because you were coming up to me saying, you can't talk about the situation. But you just hearing from other people saying that I'm talking about the situation.
They were giving details though about
Maybe I did speak to someone, but
it doesn't
It's-
excuse them stirring at the end of the day.
exactly. But I didn't see the magnitude of just telling one person and then that becoming a bigger thing than it's supposed to.
I think there was
Because-
a lot happening at the background. Again, this community around, because I don't even know if you know this, but there was a meeting with both grade heads at the time where they felt like they took turns to watch me because they thought people were going to jump me and beat me up. Literally. Like Chidi knows about this. Like there were people that were like quite passionate about the situation. And then after the bathroom incident, because remember we had the meeting with the grade head and he spoke about anger issues. There was a moment where you came up and you came close to my face. And then they felt like it was threatening, but there was just the noise around the situation made it worse than what
Oh
it
no,
had to
definitely.
be.
And I never understood the magnitude of just saying something because of the fact that you were a head girl, RCL, Miss Teen as well, because I've never been in that situation. I was always the one in the background. So this was the first time where I was in the foreground and everything was just happening in front of me and I don't know how to deal with it. And I just wanted you to feel how I felt. But I didn't also see what I was actually also doing to you as well in the situation. And that's where I apologize for, because it was not good on you. We were still, that is a very integral part of our life as well. We were so young and we're just trying to find ourselves as well. And I thought I knew you, like knew you. But obviously you don't know someone for a year. I don't even know Carlo and we've been together for 10 years. So it also made me understand that, yes, you know this person, you think you know this person, but you won't always know how they're going to react to different things as well. And this friendship to me still is one of the best friendships that I ever had because you taught me a lot. You taught me how to have fun. You taught me how to deal with situations as well differently, how to be less opinionated and how to understand people as well.
But I just wanted to say, I'm incredibly sorry. And I wish I had more courage to face you. But I do remember knowing for a fact that if I had to face you, we would probably both be crying and we wouldn't be able to make a clean break. And at that stage, I was very much connected to my mother. My form of identity was connected to her. And it's something I've learned to let go of now as a grown-up. But you did deserve better than a message that we can't be friends anymore. And I'm so sorry for that.
Thank you for that. I truly do appreciate it. You can make me cry.
It's so beautiful to see. I love it.
Okay, now you have the story. We're going to go into the prompts.
Okay. Are we not going to discuss?
Yes.
Okay. We need to. Like,
It's definitely we need to. Thank you for reminding me.
okay. So I just want to fully understand what you meant by you saw me as your bully specifically. Like, explain to me because I really want to know. I never knew that, as you said, like I was very surprised. So I didn't know that, but I would love to know. Please enlighten me.
So, again, I think because I was such a sensitive person, a lot of this opinions was influenced by me and not so much just by you. You had a very strong will as a young person, which is something that I absolutely adored about you. That's why I wanted to be your friend. It's like you knew who you were in spaces and you could command a room and you could give your opinion. Oh, that's the impression I got. And when we were in social settings, you always tended to be the one that takes the lead. So you had a lot of power. But what I found with me, I remember specific incidents. So it wasn't hardcore. It wasn't that you were this mean person. It was small things where I tried to be your friend and you kind of ran past me and I smiled at you and you yelled, "Why are you smiling at me? I don't like you."
Did I say that?
And no, but you were a baby and I was also a baby and maybe I gave you a fail cake. I don't know. And then that's why you didn't like me. You never know. Like everything is about like how we perceive something. So maybe just before that happened, I maybe did something that made you think this girl's not nice. And that's why you responded maybe in defense. I don't know.
Was this in primary school now?
Primary school.
Okay,
so it was
okay.
small. So bully, that's how I perceived you for my first year at this new school. But onto high school, no. That kind of tone of like, which again comes from me wanting to then incorporate myself because my best friend Jemima at the time was also close to you. You guys are still friends. So by association, we would have to be around each other. And there was that sense of like, I remember there was a day where you and Storm laughed at my shoes because I had like black tackies. But again, it's a kid thing where you like look at her shoes. And because I was insecure child, it really affected me at the time. But then I grew up with you. And I remember there was a day in consumer study where that teacher was like reprimanding you, but you were just, I think you danced or something. You were just in a good mood. You were like dancing.
Sounds like me.
And I remember this is why I've always wanted to be your friend because, again, there's this undeniable authenticity that you've always had. And hence why I'm saying you're one of those people that have impacted me the most. Also the fact that like my perception of you changed so rapidly, but then also helped me learn about myself in the ways in which I didn't show up, you know? And we were best friends for one day, and then the next day we weren't best friends. But I don't think it's as deep as ours is. But I was very excited.
That's so cute.
And then you left school at some stage, and like I said, we lost touch. But I remember Chidi was there because we were new at the school. My parents had just divorced. Like with you moving to a different place, we didn't have family that side. So I was very fresh and new in this environment. But I do know that I was also a very introverted person, so difficult to read. So I can't not be a bubbly, warm person and expect people to be bubbly and warm. So yeah, I definitely remember going to high school and hearing that you're going to the same high school and kind of being nervous because like I was like, am I going to feel like this forever? But then it changed almost instantly because I realized also the pool got much bigger. There was a lot more kids. And then also like, so we had less focus on each other, but then I really got to see you engaging with people and found you quite inspiring. And I've incorporated some of what I've seen in you and some of the characters I've played. Yeah. So there was
shady.
a little
Straight to
bit.
shady.
A little bit, but like only the best parts, only the parts that were in it, like the part of you dancing in front of a teacher, where it's almost like no one would have the audacity to dance in front of that teacher because she was so serious, but you were just like happy, man. And yeah, I remember I was a student studying technical production at Stellenbosch University, and I had to create a character for an assignment, and my character's name was Shanika. And I was like, hi, and I'm a Shanika Stiff. Maybe I'm a little psycho. But
That is so sweet. I love it.
yeah, but it's key figures that come into your lives. They might not know it, but there's something, a flavor that they bring, a wisdom. I've always found you to be very wise. Even when we were younger, you felt like you were beyond our years. And I guess that's why I always seek your approval, because I felt like here's someone that knows what's going on. Here's someone that's like, But yeah, that's the basis of it. What do you have to say about that?
I don't, when I hear this and what you saw in me that time, I don't see it that way, because that time I was just trying to navigate trauma, like at home. I think the reason why I was that type of person where I just always not wanted the attention, rather demanded the attention. Like I walked in and, like, I don't know how to explain that, but anyways, it was because of the trauma that I experienced at home and not having a voice and all of these things happening to me and not knowing how to handle these things. So I wasn't always confident. I wouldn't say that I was confident, but I just felt like I had to be that way. There was no other way for me to be. And at school it was actually fun for me to be at school. People listened to me and, like people saw me and stuff. So I don't know. It's just, it's crazy to see that you saw all of that in me. And I actually was also insecure that time and just trying to navigate through what I was going through. But I want to apologize for laughing at your shoes.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm laughing, but you started. Sorry.
No, but if you, like the people that we were in high school and primary school, if you think about it now, the things that we done, like sometimes making fun of people, at that time we would think, oh, it's just a net gatmaak, but now it's like, no, it is not. It's not cool. So if anyone tells me something like that, I feel very bad, because I know I wasn't like the best person on school. I made a lot of jokes. For me, it was like just gatmaak heeltyd elke dag. That's why I was like this class clown and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to say sorry. I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I made you feel bad for that day. If it wasn't only for that day, if it was many days after that, I'm very sorry for that.
But one thing thank you for saying that, but I do want to add that I've never seeked, like, it's as if somehow deep down, I always knew there was more going on.
Yeah.
There was always that understanding. So as much as I would feel some sort of way and it would make me, I knew there was more going on. And again, I was so drawn to the good parts of you that I just wanted to connect. And that's why still till this day, I just want to connect, because you are a very special person. And that's why you're doing what you're doing at the moment. You're actually making a difference. You're using your voice. You're pursuing something that's not common, Mm-hmm. How did you get into that?
Well, I always used to write. Like, that was my way of dealing with whatever is happening in my life. So I started at a very young age writing little raps. And in high school, actually, was when I started rapping in front of people, and like in class, instead of me working, I'm actually like writing rhymes and like with Mishka, and I don't know if you remember Shane.
Yes.
So I would just spit my rhymes and everyone would be like, oh, and then I think it was 2014, we were cheerleaders together, right? We were that year. So that was the day that I rapped Moment for Life in front of the whole school. Can you remember that?
All I remember is in history, you were just always annoying the teacher with your raps, because you'd come in rapping and he would just sit there because he's just like, what is going on? What life am I living? Yes, Mr. Dougson. And so then you would just be at the back. I think it was with Jason.
Yes.
Jason James. You would just always be at the back and just rapping, and you just hear Shanika at the back and Jason just like tapping a beat there.
So yeah, when I saw the reaction of the crowd when I rapped that song, it was like it ignited something. I was like, okay, I'm actually enjoying this. I'm doing this in front of so many kids. Like, I actually have the balls to do this. So that was like, okay, this is something that I want to definitely dive into. So it started there, and in 2020 I started posting videos of me like freestyling over well-known beats like Lauryn Hill, doo-wop and things like that. And people actually enjoyed it. And then I was like, okay, I can do this. And since then, yeah, it's just been ripple effects. And this is what I do now. I don't have a 9 to 5. This is my and I feel like it's my purpose. It's a calling. And also the things that I've gone through, I feel like when you go through things and you gain all this wisdom, you learn all these things, you need to give back, because there's so many kids that need this. They need this podcast as well, because there's going to be young kids watching this and they're going to see like, okay, look at them coming together. Maybe my friend that I just had a fight with, maybe I can go to her now and actually speak about it instead of being this bitch. So that's why I make music. I want to make a difference. It's my way of making a difference in this world.
And we always used to sing in the choir and then at the musicals when we were like,
any opportunity I got to be on stage, I was there. I started off singing actually, but I don't feel so confident in my singing now. It's rather, let me just rap.
Thank you, Shanika. Or Saarah.
You can say Shanika, it's alright.
Oh, okay, no, I can't say that. If you want to, you are Saarah, you are Saarah. There is by myself. Also, Robin is pregnant. We just have to say that. There's we're not 3 people before. Do you guys want to do the prompts quickly? So you can go first, and then you can go, and I'll do the last prompt. So, but you can go first, and then we each give an answer for that one.
Mental health and wellness are topics that our generation was not always exposed to. Do you think that impacted the trajectory of our friendship? Can I answer now? Definitely, it definitely did. Okay, so this is very personal because obviously I am bipolar. And that is the reason why I left school in 2014. I didn't know that all of the things that I was experiencing at home wasn't normal. So, it's making me emotional. So, and I didn't discuss it with my friends. Like, I don't know why. I also, if I think back, I never had a discussion with Storm maybe and told her, okay, this happened to me now, and this is what's going on at home. Like, I just kept it quiet. Did I ever mention anything to you? Okay, so I didn't know how to express this to everyone, to my friends and stuff like that. I felt like I had a lot of friends, but I was still very much alone because I wasn't sharing this part of my life. And I was in a relationship as well that was also very, very, very draining and just took me out of my character. And I ended up in a depression. And it was just one day I was writing English paper 3. And that was my favorite paper to write. I mean, I just need to write. That's all, it was my favorite. And I couldn't write. I couldn't think. My brain just went numb. It was like I was brain dead. And I sat there for 3 hours just sitting there. Like I remember Miss Miller was in the class that day. And I was laying on my arms because I didn't understand what is happening and why can't I write? Like I could only write my name on that paper. And the bell rang and I walked to my taxi and everything was just dark. It was terrible. I couldn't think straight. After that, it just went down. Like I couldn't think straight. I couldn't hold a conversation. I couldn't eat properly. I just wasn't myself. I lost my faith. Everything just went numb. It went dark. And I didn't realize that the reason why I fell into this depression was because of all of the trauma that happened to me. And I never got to speak about it. I never went for counseling or anything like that. So I feel like the reason why I am who I am and why I done that full circle, because to me, when you mention that, like you see this full circle, I also am very proud of that because I didn't let what I went through like just break me completely. I am 100% a different person now, and I want to be there for the people that is going through what I am going through. And I always want to encourage teenagers to, even if you feel like you are okay. Like there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with going to counseling just to deal with things like friendships, things like any situation that is happening. Seek counseling, because maybe things could have been different if I just had the tools, or I have spoken to people. So mental health is very important. It is just as important as your physical health. And I just want people to take that from me. When you see me, just see me as a person who is bipolar and owning it. And I just hope that I inspire people with my story. Yeah. Also just want to say that when you find out, when the doctors tell you you are bipolar or you've been diagnosed with this, at that time when I found out, I didn't really believe it. I was very young. I was in my matric year. Like, it was terrible for me to go through that. I was in a mental health clinic first, and then after that I went to a hospital, and then I ended up in a psychiatric ward. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Lente here.
Yes.
So I was there for like 6 months of my life in my peak year, like in matric. So at that time, I felt like, why am I here? Like, I didn't feel like I need to be here. I didn't even feel like there was anything wrong with me. Like, it was terrible. It was one of the worst things to ever go through. So I feel like we need to have grace with the people that also just find out, okay, they bipolar or whatever the case, because it's like, you felt like you were fine, and all of a sudden somebody's telling you you're not fine, or you're not, I don't want to say that you're not fine, but you need help, you know, you're not like other people, and your brain doesn't work like other people. So only last year, right, I decided to book myself into a mental health clinic. This was now after that many years, from 2014. I decided myself, because in 2014, I was forced to go into one. So I think that was where I actually fully accepted myself and told myself, I'm going to wear this. Like, I'm going to show people that I'm not going to be ashamed, because many people go through this. Some people have diabetes. Some people have, whatever. And it's our brains. There's a chemical imbalance in my brain, but it's also seen as a sickness. So I don't want to be ashamed of it, and rather just the testimony of someone with bipolar that is still carrying on with life and doing the same things as others.
Oh, that was a good one. I'm going to go think for long about this conversation.
Okay. Oh, wow. Have you had your heart broken by a friend? And if so, what has that taught you about yourself? I feel as though
friendship breakups
is the worst.
They are the worst.
It is literally the worst. I have been broken by friendships a lot. Like a friendship that was broken a year ago. And this was a friendship where I met this girl when I was 19. And she was 30, 32, around 30. Yeah. So she was my manager. So we had rocky ups and downs and all of that. But I realized that friendship taught me a lot. It taught me not to make myself smaller than I should. Because at that time, I just started working. Everyone around me was studying, but I didn't want to start studying yet. So I was seeing everybody almost like bettering their lives. And in my head, I was like, I'm just a retail worker. I'm just working as a sales assistant. So I made myself smaller so that almost like we could get along. That's how it was. And I did that for the last 8 years with this person. So we finally had our last almost like breakup, and I was 27. Yeah, it was last year. So, which also taught me that I can't keep on making myself smaller so that other people can look better. Because I was bettering my life, bettering myself, but I was still almost like not showing my accomplishments. I wasn't showing that I can get this done. I can be this strong just so that we could still be friends. And that friendship taught me that I can't do that any longer. And all the other friendships that I've had, I haven't had many friendships because I keep my circle very, very small. I have acquaintances. I have people where I say hi to, or I say hello, or how you doing? But I don't let people into my space very easily. I'm an only child. So I get attached very quickly and very easily. So friendships as a whole, I try to, some of the friendships also taught me to keep people at arm's length so that I don't get hurt. But that hasn't hindered me from friendships. Like the 3 people in my life have been in my life, say, more than 10 years, which I've taken as these are the people that I want to keep in my life, because also being an only child, we moved a lot. I never stayed in a place for longer than 10 years, basically. So to get attached to people, I didn't want to. And the hurt from friendships, like as you said, getting hurt from a friend is actually the worst breakup ever. But that also hasn't hindered me from making other friendships, because you learn things from people. You learn and you take things from people. Like I know that my personality isn't just my own personality. It has been brought up by other people's little quirks and nicks and knacks. Because also I'm an only child. I don't have a sibling to be like, I'm going to take your personality and wrap it into my own. So it's always just been the friendships and the people around me where. That's also why I take friendships so dearly, because I take you as a sibling. I take you as, I will do my friends know I will do anything for them. I'll go to the ends of the earth. I will literally drop everything that I'm doing just for that person. And I've learned that not everyone will appreciate that. And I've also learned to not always expect the same from other people as I give to other people, because people aren't collaborated that way. And also I'm very sensitive. And to take that sensitivity away from some people has also taught me that I can't always just be completely vulnerable with every single person. And people hurt people. And that's just literally how people are. And yeah, that's basically what I've learned. Friendships aren't cookie cutter. And you won't always get the same friendship every single time with the same person. Because over the 13 years that I've been best friends with this one person, we have not had the same friendship for the last 13 years. But there's always been that love and that caring, and that's what I've always just wanted a friendship to be like. That's all. I don't want everything from a friendship. I don't want you to do things for me. I just want you to be there for me. I don't think like that is much. I don't ask for much. I don't ask for the world, but I want you to at least be there. Yeah. That's my 2 cents.
Valid.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add to that because you said everything.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, but it's true. There's no cookie cutter friendship either. Even in the friendships at work, at the end of the day, it might not be as drastic, but there is certain compromises. And you also nodded to when she said you can't expect that what you would give is what people would give. And that doesn't necessarily mean they love you less. People just have a different way of expressing because of their own trauma and their backstory and their love languages and things. And the older you get, the more you kind of
Understand.
yes,
and compromise for that person.
yes. And know which friendships you actually would stick it out for. Because like I said earlier, deep down, you know who the people are that you really connect with. And when like all the fluff and the egos and things go away, eventually you gravitate back to those people. They might not know that they mean so much, but we gravitate.
Definitely.
I just want to say, on the cars that are driving, I'm so conditioned to when there's a sound stopping, because when we act and there's a plane, you'd be like mid-scene emotional, and then you have to freeze till the plane is gone, and then you have to go on with
So you
the
have to
scene.
say, Tia, don't go down yet.
Literally.
Pause.
Literally.
Keep it in.
Thank you so much. Okay. Over the years, you've had many friends and have been a friend to many. I don't know, so many. Given your own personal history with friendships, would you want your children to befriend someone like you? Now, I think we all should answer this question. I don't think I should answer this alone. Would you want your children to befriend someone like you? Why or why not? I'll go first. I would say, well, that's a difficult question.
Because also you, as a child, you have been at different phases. Like, so you can't
Yes.
say, I want my child to be with
Yes.
Robin from when she was 1 till 3.
Yes.
Or from Robin from when she was
Yes.
grade 4 till 7.
Yeah.
Because also high school, you were completely different people.
Yes. I would say younger, kindergarten, grade 1 to 4. No. Because I was hypersensitive and like overstimulated constantly. I think I'm somewhere on the autism spectrum. I'm yet to like actually look into that. But loud noises and big crowds and a lot of things used to overwhelm me so much. So I also didn't know how to express myself verbally. So when people would say, for example, I was in the play group and you decided to hit Saarah, and I would feel like that's unfair. Instead of like going, that's unfair, I would probably punch you. Like that's how I operated when I was like a toddler, and then I would get in trouble. So I wouldn't necessarily want my kid to be friends with that person, because that person quickly needs to sort themselves out. But over the years, I would say one thing is, like you also said about yourself now, I value friendships so much. And I know that I'm a reserved person and I have a very, very small circle. But once you're in that, you'll have, like, I'll have your back till you die. I'm a loyal person. And also, I'm a very fair person. I like to think so. I will hold you accountable if I feel like you are doing something that's not true to your authentic self, and I expect the same from you. Like, we're going to grow together.
And that is sometimes we lack that in friendships where we love the person so much you don't want to tell them, hey, you're
Yes.
actually doing something wrong. eh?
Yes.
So that is a big
And we
Good
realize
time.
later that we actually need to be that type of friend.
Do you want to go with this one, and then you can end us off with this one?
Okay. Let's
Because-
read it again.
Yes.
Okay.
Just for yourself. Would you want to, or you can just say, would you want to be friends with yourself? Or your child to be friends with yourself?
I would say from in primary school, I would say no. I feel as though I just wanted to be friends with everybody. I just wanted people to like me. I just wanted, because we move so much. Like, I feel as though when you move so much, you don't create yourself. You don't create a being. You just float around. So in high school, I feel as though that is when I kind of developed a bit of my personality and who I am and what I stand for. And so I can't really answer that question. I feel as though all the phases that I've been through, yes, maybe I would have been a good friend. No, I wasn't a good friend, because I know that there are points in my life I wasn't a good friend. I wasn't a good person as per se. So I feel as though for me, that is a very difficult question to answer. I would say that the qualities, some qualities of when I was a child, I would want my child to be friends with, because I know that I'm that type of person. I will stick with one person and I will give that person everything. And I was also told that my other friendships would not that I care about, but I wouldn't put so much effort in, because I can only focus on one person. Like, I feel as though everyone around me, I will forget about you. And most of my friends know that I will not message you, because I'm focusing on this one person just to make sure this one person is okay. But that is where I think my downfall is, that I forget about the others around me who's also championing me as well. But I forget about that because I'm trying to make sure this person is okay, this person is good. So that is where I feel as though I would want my child to have that, but I know that my child would be sensitive towards not always getting, not the attention, but not always getting the full friendship if that person always just forgets that there's other people. Well, I forget, it's just... Yeah, I
Divided
can't
attention.
focus on too many things. I also get overstimulated. Even at school, I can't focus on too many things.
Granted.
Yeah.
And you, Saarah?
Okay, guess I don't have to read it. It's also, to me, a very difficult question because there's so many phases. In primary school, if I look back, I was also quite sensitive. In high school, I think I can say no. I don't think I would do, or maybe, I actually don't know. It's a difficult one. Let me just think. I feel like our kids also need to be exposed to different types of people. You're gonna learn something from someone, a friend that is sensitive. You're gonna learn something from a friend that is outspoken and that is jolly. So I've been all of that in my life. But what I can say now, the person that I am as an adult now, with the mentality that I have, I would want my child to be friends with someone like that. But then you can't because I'm a grown up. Like I know so many things, you know. It's a you have to look at it in so many different angles if you have to ask this question. But I just want my child to have friends that she can trust, where she can be herself, with just a lover and that she can learn things from. So yeah.
And you are a parent.
I am. I have a daughter named Zima, and she's 3 years old. She's the sweetest. And she's just like me. She loves music. She loves to rap. She knows all my songs. She's just the sweetest. And she has a very strong personality as well.
Got it from a mama.
Definitely. And you're also about to full steam.
And it's a boy.
Boy.
So I'm hoping that he has his father's personality, just that calmness, because I can be very high strung. So I'm hoping that I don't birth a twin of me at times. But I just hope that he's very understanding and accepts people, because I know I'm a very accepting person. Like I want you to be yourself in a friendship with me. I don't want you to hide things where it's like, no, I can't be this outlandish person around Robin because she won't understand. I will understand because I will be also outlandish with you.
100%.
Thank you for agreeing.
I just remember us always making dances and then wanting to show your mom, but every time your mom would look, I would get shy.
Yes.
And then she's so unimpressed.
No, you took me out of my box completely.
I didn't even know that. I thought you were
Listen.
taking me out of my box.
No, or maybe our personalities
Took each other.
just like clicked, and it was literally from the beginning. I think we were talking outlandish stuff from the beginning. But we basically almost had our own language.
Yes. Also,
No.
no.
I just like in the sense that like we would just like look each other and just like make sounds and
That sounds like us. I just remember
Just
it's
like
called
random.
Robin.
oh
With the
yes.
And also, the random side note, I know we're not all into astrology, but like all my best friends are Tauruses. And you're a Taurus, your birthday's the day before mine. My best friend, Ansolet's birthday is on my birthday. My other best friend's birthday, she's also a Taurus. You're also a Taurus. Her
Yeah.
birthday's the day before your birthday.
Really?
I'm like, how does that even work?
So maybe you just attract a lot of Tauruses. We
I
have
don't
very
know.
big personalities and are very stubborn. So
The stubborn part.
I wanted to mention something. Can you remember the day that we were at your house? I'm not too sure. I don't remember a lot of things, but all I know is that it was me, you, and Maima, and we were dancing to Thriller. Like, that's all I remember. And it was so much fun. And it was amazing.
That's the night that Jemima couldn't sleep over. And then you asked me to be your best friend. I remember everything. But I also remember distinctly my mother bought a KFC bucket. And it was on the table. And we were very shy children, like my siblings and I. So if we had to eat, we would always be like, even to my own mom, we'd be like, can I have another piece? Can I have another piece? And I just remember you sat there and you wanted another piece. And you just got up on your chair and you're like, wait. And I was like, oh, she's so cool. She's just taking the chicken. But no.
I would tell my child, no, you need to ask first with someone else's house.
No, we absolutely
go for
loved it. It was so stunning. It was so confident.
I'm glad that you remember that because that's like a distinct memory. The other one was I was in a fight on high school. Can you remember that one?
Was I there?
Yes, you broke up the fight.
Don't lie. Wait, okay, context?
The fight was about me being English and the other girl, she was an Afrikaans person. And you know how that dynamic is in high school. Like, yeah. So it was basically just that, but it was me and Mishka that was fighting. Two other Afrikaans girls as well. So it was both of us. But I'm surprised that you don't remember that.
What grade were we in?
Ooh, 11 or 12. But no, it wasn't 12. 11, 10 or 11.
Was it a physical fight?
It was my only physical
What did
fight.
I do?
You broke it up.
But how?
I think you must have been head girl then. You must have been.
I don't know.
Maybe you just would have stood there and like,
Yes, be like, guys, no man.
No, but you actually came in and you were like, you broke.
Are you sure it wasn't my sister? Because sometimes you can't look the same.
I remember.
Okay. No, I feel proud of that, guys. You know, I do remember once you were in a disagreement with my sister when she was head girl.
Was it in the brief?
Because
But
you
was
couldn't
it
get
with the
you couldn't
teacher
get
as well?
no, but you couldn't get senior ball tickets because it was sold out.
I'm still a little mad about it.
She was so upset that you didn't want to give her tickets. You were like, it's sold out.
I wasn't mad at you. I was mad at the whole situation. It was very unfair.
But also the whole situation, we made a video to promote the senior ball, and the tickets sold out, but the actual event didn't match the video. So you're lucky you didn't go. I actually think your mom helped me with that one. I should probably not say this, but we needed centerpieces for the table, and your mother and I went to like the garden of the school and we started cutting like the palm trees.
That does sound like my mother. My mother.
And like she was standing with the scissors and I was holding it, and then we like ran with it, and the palm tree was skinny, like all the palms were gone. But it was like a beautiful memory. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. So I just want to thank you guys for coming out. This has meant so much to me. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Like,
It
I feel
was-
as though it brought up a lot, eh?
Yes.
It brought up, and not like closure, because I feel as though we had closure years ago, but it gave us the context of understanding the situation much better as an adult.
Yes.
Because I feel as though our brains are more developed now and we can understand the situation much better.
100%. And then also just for what you guys are doing in your individual lives, from what I'm seeing on social media and things like that. I know social media only shows us a fraction of what's actually going on in people's lives. But the fraction that you guys are putting out there is something so positive and something that I feel like I connect with. And thank you for setting that image out there of like totally being authentic and pursuing the lives that you want, especially you with your career. I mean, meeting someone that has the courage to do that, like, you're not just singing or rapping, you're actually putting your feelings and your thoughts into words. So you're being vulnerable. And that can really change lives. And as for you, with the way you navigate being a teacher and a wife and an up-and-coming mother, and just how you share yourself and your views on life, you mentioned earlier that there was a time where you were depressed. You know, that you were going through things. but somehow that energy, that sunbeam in you is always shining through, and it makes it so inspiring to engage with you always. And I'm grateful for this because I feel like we matriculated 10 years ago.
Can you believe it?
A reconnection point where I feel like now we have better access to each other, and I'm totally going to take advantage of that because I absolutely adore you both, and I thank you for the impact that you've had on my life. And I feel a sense of peace and closure talking to you both, just knowing like going on. Like I have these role models in my circle that have been there from day one. And it doesn't mean that there's an expectation of what this means for friendship, but it just means that you guys are definitely being watched and like followed. Just know that.
You are too. We're following you too, girl. I feel like I'm very inspired by you. One specific thing is that I don't recall you like speaking Afrikaans. And all of a sudden you are on Sevendeland and you are doing Afrikaans roles. And it's just, for me, that's like amazing. Like, did you always feel comfortable? You didn't. So that to me is just like, I take my hats off.
Just
Putting yourself out there, yeah. And just seeing in your glitz and glamour. And it's so beautiful. It's just lovely to see.
Like, it just looks like it was just meant to be, really.
Yes,
And it really was just meant to be.
And I feel like you were also shy. So to see you step out of that and look how you are shining, it's amazing to see. So you are also an inspiration.
And thank you so much, everybody, for staying tuned. This is by far one of my favorite episodes. Sorry to the other people that was on the show. I want to encourage everybody out there to try and have conversations with the people that have impacted your life, because really you learn so much, not only about yourself, but about the people and about your life. Thank you for staying tuned, and a big thank you to Nifty Studio. Have a lovely day further. Bye.